This is Morning Juice. Sports, insight, and great storytelling. Starring Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Tito Thitoff. It's time to attack and dominate.
Attack and dominate on this Thursday. Bobby, Snowmageddon's coming.
That's what I've been told.
I've heard anywhere from 2 to 90 inches.
Yeah.
Never know.
It's a nice little variance there. It's supposed to be pretty cold, too.
Yes.
Got some nice reprieve here. It feels nice and balmy and warm relative to what it's been, so there we go.
Do you guys, I'm sure I've asked the question before, but I forget. Do you guys enjoy a good snowstorm?
What does that mean?
I'm looking forward to the snowstorm.
What are you going to do? What will be different in your life with the snowstorm coming?
Fort?
Are you going to get outside and play in the snow?
Yeah, of course I will. I do it with the kids all the time when it snows like that, yeah.
Okay. You have, like, snow gear and stuff?
I don't have.
I feel like you're the dude in jeans out in the snow.
Tank top.
Maybe not tank top, but I feel like he's got
jeans. Let me see.
Jeans are like normal.
No, I do have like the snow pants, like with the snow overalls kind of thing.
Yeah, you have snow pants?
Yeah.
Okay. I would not have guessed that.
But it's mystery of the mind, man. You don't know me.
Okay, so you're going to get out and play in the snow then. There we go.
I don't know what'll be longer, how long it takes me to get ready or how long I'm out there. But yeah, I'll get out there and play. Mike, I enjoy the snow. That's why I didn't know it. And also, Bob, if it gets bad enough, it gives me excuses to not do stuff like run errands. I can tell my wife it's not safe.
It's not safe. That's the biggest.
Wow. You may not even have to come to work, Tito.
I'll have to come to work. You think there's?
Wow.
Do you think
I might not. I might just turn around and go back home Monday.
Hey, the roads were bad this past weekend on the way to Cincy, and I was lucky to make it down there. But yeah, so I don't know. I like. Do you guys?
My kids like it. We'll take them sledding and do that stuff. I mean, it's so flat up here in Columbus. There's not a lot of good places to go sledding, but yeah.
Do they let you sled at Souda anymore or not?
That's up for debate.
I know I used to be able to go like on that. Hill on the side.
Yeah, in the front.
In the front, then.
That's a dicey subject.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, it's just there's conflicting reports on things. I go, if I pay to go there, I should be able to sled there.
Why not? I hear you. Yeah.
But the monitoring of that's a little bit different. So figure that out. I mean, they can go over to the quarry. They've got, I guess my kids go over there. They say that's pretty good sometimes. So, yeah. I mean, it's a chance
we should go hang out by the quarry and throw things down in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't dislike it. It doesn't bother me at all. Like people that try to drive around in cars that aren't equipped for it, then I'm like, that's your problem. So I don't mind it though. I enjoy getting out and doing the things I need to get done. And, you know, the kids are home from school, which is pros and cons to that.
Right.
You don't have to worry about getting them to bed quite as early, but then also they're there all day fighting and doing whatever. But my kids, we did buy actually another snow shovel because my kids will go shovel people's driveways and make some money. So it's like, all right, they want to be entrepreneurial, get out there, go do something. That's a win, but they do shut down all the sports usually and all that other stuff, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
But we'll see how much actually happens. And a lot of it's going to probably fall on the weekend versus the weekday. So it might be clean. At least in Arlington, it's all cleaned off pretty quickly because there's not a whole lot to clean.
Yeah, that's one thing I think as parents we appreciate it, but kids really don't like it. Because then you have to go to school. You know, it's like there's some of the other outlying areas with the snow happening on Sunday, they would cancel for Monday, whereas I don't think it's a lot harder.
Already to cancel life with this Lane Avenue construction going on, though.
I haven't paid much attention to that because I haven't been around that area.
Yeah, well, that's good for you. It's terrible. I want to move already, and it's going to take a year. Putting in a gas line, Bodie. You're redoing a gas line for Columbia, and it's awful.
Oh.
7 different kinds of awful.
We have got a big show lined up for you today. 2 full hours here on YouTube, the Fan app, and HD3. Download the show anytime and catch us from 10 a.m. to noon on 10 TV Plus, also Facebook and Twitter. Albert Breer is going to join us today at around 7:02. Ya Highness. Ya Highness at 7:30. He
make us a millionaire.
Well, you know what? He was on his fourth bet.
Lose again?
He lost on his fourth one last night. It was a $500 bet he made last night on Utah.
The Mammoth or the Jazz?
The Mammoth.
Okay.
Minus 1.5 goals, and they won by 1 in overtime. So
hockey feels like a sport that I would not want to bet on. Just feels like too much variance, you know?
Yeah, so like
Maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know.
I'm living through him on this as I'm watching his bets every day he puts out, and I was like, oh, I don't know about this one. But then Philly was up 2-0 like 5 minutes into the game, and I was like, oh, this isn't going to end well. But then Utah's will come back to win. But
Don't let us win tonight.
Right? Yes, exactly. What else? Morning Juice has sponsored Riverside Bank in Dublin. And let's see. Let's do this. The Jackets host the Lightning on Saturday. It's at homecoming for honoring 4 past players. Cam Atkinson, Derek Dorsett, who we had in yesterday in studio, RJ Umberger, and Pascal Leclerc are all going to be there for that 6 o'clock autograph session. And then they'll honor them on the ice right before the 7 o'clock face-off. I almost said tip-off. That'd be a lot different thing in hockey. OSU men are at Michigan on Friday at 8 o'clock. Cavs beat the Hornets last night 94-87. The number 11 or number 12 OSU women host Indiana tonight at 8 o'clock. So that's a Peacock game, I believe we determined that. So, yeah.
That's exciting. Stream times.
That's today in women's sports.
That's exactly what it is, yes. So we'll see how that goes for Ohio State tonight. I'll tell you what, Bob, why don't you make us smarter, if I can get the cursor there.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
Every day after I hear this, Bob, I'm a little bit smarter.
How much of what I tell you do you actually remember?
How much of it? A lot. I got a couple presidents right, didn't I? In recent.
Yeah, I'm talking like you guessing presidents and getting close or getting them. That's because that's even before I tell you. Do you think you'll retain any of that information?
Bob, okay, let's put it this way. Every time I get out of here after our shift, after our show ends, there is a brief period of time where I'm smarter than I was.
Very brief. Fleeting. It is Thursday, January 22nd, the 22nd day of the year, 343 days remaining, this 2026. This date, 1890, the United Coal Miners Union is formed right here in Columbus, Ohio. 1946, the creation of the Central Intelligence Group is formed. It is the precursor to the Central Intelligence Agency, better known as the CIA. 1968, Apollo 5 lifts off. It was the first carrying the lunar module into space. 1972 years later, the Boeing 747 is debuted. The first jumbo jet enters commercial service for Pan American Airlines. And then in 1972, one of the most iconic songs in American history hits number 1. And residing there for 7 weeks, Don McLean's American Pie.
They caught the last train for the coast the day the music died, and they were singing bye bye Miss American Pie.
There we go. 1973, George Foreman knocks down Joe Frazier 6 times in 2 rounds. Fight is ultimately stopped.
And we'll find out tonight just how good George Foreman is in punching and in taking a punch. I think he hurt Joe Frazier. I think Joe is hurt. Angie Dundee, Ali's trainer, right next to me, is saying it. You may hear him. Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier! The heavyweight champion is taking the mandatory 8 count, and Foreman is as poised as can be in a neutral corner. He is as poised as can be. We have a minute left in this first round, and already this fight is proving out what some have expected.
There we go. I mean, Thitoff, was it expected that Frazier was going to get smoked there, smoking Joe?
I don't think it was expected, but not like that for sure. The 6 times getting knocked down and hearing Carousel do that, yeah.
Got beat up pretty bad right there.
Yes, sir.
This date, 1974, Carly Simon's Hotcakes is certified gold.
Anymore, 'cause I haven't got time for the pain. I haven't got room for the pain.
Haven't got time for the pain, and you're so vain. 1977, I Wish by Stevie Wonder becomes his 5th number 1 hit. think he was wishing for sight.
Look, I'm still not convinced he's blind.
There you go.
That's what Shaq said. Shaq said he got an elevator with him, and Stevie said, "Hey, Shaq," and like he recognized either he just said, "I think he could see."
Could feel his ness, his presence.
His presence, yes.
It's all there.
Had aura about him, like Rick James.
1984 Super Bowl 23. The Raiders over the Redskins, 38-9 in Tampa, Florida.
Super Bowl 18,
I'm sorry,
I think
18.
on that one. Right, yep.
Apologize, that's a V, not another dash. You're correct.
In 1983, the Redskins set an NFL record for points in a season. In the Super Bowl, the Raiders shut them down and beat them up, sacking Joe Theismann 6 times and holding the Redskins to just 9 points.
I remember after the game, Joe Theismann saying, they handed us our asses on the tray, and the tray was bent. Even now, whenever I see that highlight, I get tingles. I remember John Facenda saying, here comes Marcus Allen running with the night. That's a good memory.
On came Marcus Allen, running with the night.
There we go. Marcus Allen getting it done. He was the MVP of that Super Bowl for the Raiders. 5 years later, Super Bowl 23. Cincinnati getting close once again, not getting it done as the Niners beat them 20-16 in Miami.
With 39 seconds remaining, Walsh called 20 halfback curl X up. It was the last play he would call as coach of the 49ers.
At the 10-yard line, 39 seconds remaining. Back to throw Montana. Stepped up, throws. A 10-yard pass. The 49ers have scored with 34 seconds remaining. Montana to Taylor for 10 yards, but they went 92 yards in 11 plays. The ball game is over.
There we go. 92 yards, 11 plays. The Niners always put together some nice 2-minute drives.
Yeah, that game against Cincinnati was when also that's the famous one where Montana gets in the huddle before the game when he drives.
Candy.
Is that John Candy? Yeah.
That's probably close to Cincinnati's been. I mean, they had that game wrapped up pretty good. And
yeah, they could have beat the Rams a few years ago.
They could have.
They needed just one more stop, and if you ask Bengals fans, the Logan Wilson hold on, I think it was Cooper Kupp there.
That
at the
was a
goal line
questionable.
Was pretty, 50-50 call.
They lost 26-21, I think, the first time they played in the Super Bowl with the Niners. That was the year of the Dwight Clark catch against Dallas that got him in there. Sorry, no offense, Bodie.
Hey.
But, yeah, that was close, too. But I think that was in Detroit. And that one I think they delayed the start because at the time, Vice President George Bush was...
that was 82?
82, yeah. I think 82... Yeah, 81 was the championship game.
Yeah.
82. Yeah, that's the one. They delayed traffic because they shut off some roads and stuff to get the VP there.
There we go. And then this date, 1994, Bryan Adams, Rod Stewart, and Sting all combined for All for Love.
Let's make it all fun, all for love. Let the one you want be the one you want.
Hitting number 1 for 3 weeks. Some birthdays today. Sam Cooke, the King of Soul, born on this date, 1931. He was murdered in L.A. by a the hotel he was staying at, his manager on who's on tour. Turning 77 today, the lead singer for Journey. Had a nice little solo career as well, Mr. Steve Perry. Oh, yeah, Sherry. I didn't ask you to take that, did I? Do you like that song?
Oh, I think that's one of the greatest songs ever recorded, Bob.
Have you seen the video for it?
I don't think so.
Video is really good.
Okay.
Really enjoy it.
His I think his girlfriend at the time.
Yeah, she was
in
a
the video.
model.
Yeah.
Really pretty. It's really good, really good. I enjoy the video, but that's one of my favorite. Of all his songs that he was a part of with Journey, that's in like my top 1 or 2, and it may be probably top 3. I mean, it might be number 1. I'd have to really kind of dig in.
Journey's catalog is pretty good.
It is,
Yeah,
but
it's
Sherry
strong,
is really good.
Yeah.
I love Sherry.
I love that.
So did he. Steve Adler turning 61, the drummer for Guns N' Roses.
All right, gang, let's really nail it this time. Here we go.
jeez.
A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3.
There's drums in this one.
That's a good one, yes.
That's good. I like it. That's well done out of you, buddy. Well done out of you.
Nice vibrato, buddy. All right, Alice, let's go.
So flat.
Flat.
It's so flat. I can't even.
You don't even look good when you sing.
Good while you're singing. The worst thing I've ever heard. This is $1,200 a week for voice lessons, and this is what I get. Okay, I'm gonna save it with the solo.
Oh, you don't have My Name is Derek, and I can sing high like this. Oh gosh, it's great. The fact that they blended that in is really well done. Good job out of you, Boats, for finding that. DJ Jazzy Jeff, this hurt me, turning 61 today. My goodness, getting up there. Diane Lane also turning 61 today. Guy Fieri turning 58.
All right.
Yeah, Guy Fieri wears on me.
Oh, no.
He's okay.
I think that's fair.
He was backstage at a Kenny Chesney concert that I was at, and he really came off like a D-bag.
I could see that.
It was tough. I'm like, buddy, you're not the coolest guy back here.
Yeah.
Like Matt Stafford's back here with me, and he's a lot cooler than you.
Kenny Chesney, I'd say,
yeah, but
he's got some talent.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing against Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri,
No offense.
Like, bro,
look, let's be honest.
You and your frosted tips over here.
Yeah,
come on. Let's just. And this was even 15 years ago when he was probably a little more famous than even he is today.
How close did you come to getting frosted tips?
My hair's always been blonde.
Yeah, but still, it's like you get it like spiky and popped up like that. I'm saying.
But that's not a frosted tip. The frosting is the
could have gone the opposite.
blonde highlights.
Okay, I want the-
I guess I could have dyed them brown or
chocolate
black.
tips.
Yeah, I don't know about that. No one was doing. Everybody was bleaching their hair because Eminem back in the day.
Not such. Have you guys seen? I think it's the first one, 21 Jump Street, where Channing Tatum and they all call Jonah Hill Slim Shady.
Yes, yes. It's been a minute.
That's a pretty great opening scene.
I've only seen that
Slim
once.
Shady, what's up, dude?
I love the clip. I haven't seen the whole movie, obviously, but of when they're at dinner. Was that the first 21 Jump Street? When he hooks up with.
That's the second one.
Second one.
Yeah.
The restaurant scene, and then also when he gets revealed in the office.
Get the man some water. He's black. He's been through a lot.
Right.
Maybe you should watch some of these movies that you like the clips. Try it before you buy it. Why don't you watch the movie?
Because it'll be like, oh, it's a rerun for parties.
It's a rerun.
You watch stuff you've seen before many times that are live sporting events.
That's a valid point that I'm not going to recognize, though, Bob.
That's good. Just ignore the facts.
I'm good
Turning
at that.
38, been referenced by Thitoff a lot here in the last couple of weeks. Mr. Greg Oden.
Over to Harris, jumper.
There he is.
There's one chance. Double team, triple team, but dunks it.
Jim, that is exactly what he ought to do. Wow. Not such a good job that time.
Comes the back end, but no double down. See this? Horford blocks it. Oden the second time.
Look at this target. Dorsey tries to extricate him. Look at this finish. Send it in. Wow. Good evening. This is room service.
There we
Man
go.
amongst boys.
He was good.
And all those highlights.
One and done. Mr. Greg Oden. Great picture taker as well. One of the master selfies you'll find.
Nope.
Caitlin Clark, star of women's basketball, turning 24.
A trip to the Final Four at stake. Clark was trying to redirect a pass. Clark, oh my! From Schenectady! How about the pace of this game? Clark wheels around, evades Van Lith, and drains it! My goodness! Clark! She's possessed!
It's the distance on these Caitlin Clark threes. It's just ridiculous.
The distance, it's ridiculous. Some passings today. Passing away this day, 5 years ago. Lost Hammer and Hank Aaron in 2021.
Sitting on 7-14. Here's the pitch by Downing. Swinging. There's a drive into left center field. That ball is going to be out of here. It's gone. It's 7:15. There's a new home run champion of all time, and it's Henry Aaron. The fireworks are going. Henry Aaron is coming around third. His teammates are at home plate, and listen to this crowd. A sellout crowd is cheering Henry Aaron, the home run king of all time. 7:15.
Look at these random guys hopping down here to run around the bases with him.
I know.
No one's stopping him, by the way.
He talked about later on how scared he was because he got death threats.
Yeah.
From people that were upset that he was
They're
going to
just
break.
patting him on the back.
Yeah, but you could see when he was running, he talked about, he was kind of like freaked out that he had these two guys running out there in the field after he breaks the
They
record.
needed Schlegs out there to protect him.
I'm not going to do this for Schlegs today. I still think it's staged, but go ahead.
That guy running out there,
Yes.
moderately intoxicated with boat shoes on.
And the fact that we got the perfect photo from it. Like there's the photo.
There's a million people, photographers.
I'm just saying though, but it's the exact right time.
I think somebody could get it.
I'm just saying it looks like it could have been staged. I'm not accusing him. I'm not accusing it. Look, no
I
disrespect.
don't know. I think Schlegs actually wrote a letter for the kid to keep him from getting thrown out of school. So I don't know if that was
all part of the ploy.
Oh yeah,
got to keep it up. You know
Schlegs isn't a guy that really goes along with a ruse, if you will.
I noticed right before. I don't know if you saw it on. I don't know. Were you at that game?
It's a good question.
Because right before it happened, if you see the photo somebody took, he's misting himself, so he looks sweatier when it happens.
That's not accurate. Schlegs sweats plenty. He sweats in the cold. He spotted me before. I've had his sweat drip on my face, so I know exactly how sweaty that dude is. Oh, yeah.
Where you lifted weights?
What do you think he's spotting me in?
I'm just saying, Bob, there's another way. A lot of ways we could take that if you're getting spotted by him and getting his sweat in your face.
Yeah, he would sweat. You could watch the bead like hanging on the end of his nose. I mean, I can't even focus right now on the lift because I'm just watching this bead to see if it's going to drop and fall and hit my face.
That was the next question I had because if you spot you doing a bench press, I want to make sure the sweat came from his face. That's all.
Yeah, that would be where it was coming from.
Good.
This day, 2012, passing away, Joe Paterno, better known as Joe Pa. And then in 2008, lost one of the great actors of all time, diving into his role so deep that it ultimately consumed him, the Joker, Heath Ledger.
But I know the truth. There's no going back. You've changed things. Forever. Then why do you want to kill me? I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? Go back to ripping off mob dealers? No. No, you complete me. You're garbage. You kills for money. Don't talk like one of them. You're not. Even if you'd like to be. I don't want there to be any hard feelings between us, Harvey. When you and Rachel were being abducted, I was sitting in Gordon's cage. Now, I didn't rig those charges. You're a man. Your plan. Do I really look like a guy with a plan? You know what I am? I'm a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do with one if I caught it. You know, I just do things.
Some people just like to see the world burn. And then passing away in 1973. Check this out to make sure. It was only a couple years after his presidency was over. LBJ, better known as Lyndon B. Johnson. Off what number president was LBJ?
Okay, it's a great question, Bob. I'm glad you asked. As I paused to think for a moment, I would say he was 36.
Nice, good. It's right after Kennedy. He was his VP. He was 35. He was assassinated, thus allowing him to take his job. Do you think he was?
That's one way to get it done.
Do you think he was involved?
Yes, I do.
That's right. Clear the deck a little bit for him.
I'm not sure if Schlegs was involved either, but go ahead.
Yeah, looked like it was staged to me. Some holidays, observances. It's Celebration of Life Day. It is coming from the cold day, and it's not that cold yet. We're going to get pretty cold here soon. National Blonde Brownie Day. How about that? National Polka Dot Day.
Yeah, I don't know. What's a blonde brownie?
You ever seen a blonde brownie? Like the light brown ones?
Oh, just okay. So it's just lighter than. It's
Yeah,
not actually
they're
blonde,
like not
it's
chocolate.
just-
Yeah, they're not
Okay.
chocolatey.
Okay.
Huh, not chocolatey. How's it a brownie if it's not chocolate?
It's a blondie.
That's a go with the blondie there. That's
Fair
fine.
enough.
And those are your historical events, your birthdays, your passings, your holidays, observances. It's National Hot Sauce Day, too. For this date, Thursday, Monday would have been bad. But 1 day left. Thursday, January 22nd, the 22nd day of the year, 343 days remaining. And heck, when we get back here on Monday, I know we got one more day. We'll be in the 330s, buddy. Just sawing this year down.
Well done, as always, General. Joe Paterno, by the way, was offered the Steelers job before they hired Chuck Noll.
There you go.
So he could have been the Steelers head coach instead of Noll. Anyway, I find that interesting. In the chat, somebody said I'll be out there in the snow throwing 43-mile-an-hour snowballs. That's kind of hateful, a little bit hurtful on that one, a little bit personal. But
I feel like that fast would hurt quite a bit.
A blondie is a classic American dessert bar, often referred to as a blondie brownie, that is similar in texture and density to a chewy cookie bar. Unlike a traditional chocolate brownie, blondies do not use cocoa powder or melted chocolate in the batter. Instead, they get their rich butterscotch-like flavor from the prominent use of brown sugar, butter, and vanilla extract.
I could get on board with that.
They're pretty good.
Yeah. Coming up next, how close was LeBron to being a Clipper? Basketball Bob talk. We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
Everybody, it's Berm here. Jeremy Birmingham from the Austin and Berm Show on 97.1 The Fan, and I have the least exciting update I can give you. Awaken 180 is still working. That is actually fairly inconvenient because I don't have anything dramatic to complain about. I'm 5 weeks in, I'm down over 30 pounds, and there hasn't been a single plot twist. There hasn't been a stall. There's no mystery week where everything stops making sense. I simply follow the plan, I eat what I'm supposed to eat, and the scale does what it's designed to do too. Weight loss usually feels like a guessing game where you're constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop, but Awaken 180 doesn't. There's structure, there's coaching, and there's zero need for motivational speeches in the mirror. I'm not negotiating with myself. I'm not starting over every Monday. I'm moving forward, enjoying the ride, feeling a whole lot better, and watching years of bad habits quietly get undone. Do what we all did and make your own 180 with Awaken 180. Go online at awaken180weightloss.com, 844-346-1800. Awaken180weightloss.com.
What does it mean to give 100%? It means giving everything you've got, every single day. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. So no matter what you give, we give 100% for life-saving research victories, 100% to making new discoveries that lead to innovative treatments, 100% to groundbreaking cancer research that could one day save someone you love. We know cancer research is working. Over the last 30 years, an estimated 4.5 million lives have been saved thanks to game-changing research breakthroughs. But there is more work to do. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. We will always give 100% to accelerate victory over cancer.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Donate today at v.org.
Once there was a man who couldn't stand.
A mom who couldn't wait.
A scientific community that said it couldn't be done.
And then you.
And then I.
And then we brought neuromuscular disease into screaming color with the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
For 75 years, our voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
We've willed the impossible into existence.
We've pushed the science,
raised the funds,
shifted the narrative,
and transformed the reality of life with neuromuscular diseases.
For 75 years, we've built communities together,
established the field of neuromuscular medicine,
and made it thrive.
Call that a legacy.
Call it impact.
Call it momentum.
Just call it ours.
Because it's the generations of community heroes that give MDA the strength we have today.
And until neuromuscular disease is a thing of the past, you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
One man is a national champion, NFL veteran, and local business leader. The other man is Tito. This is Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Morning Juice. Bobby, Tito, Bodie. Bob, this report came out yesterday, a couple of reports. One was
all the Lakers.
It's
the infighting of the buses. I didn't realize there were 6 bus kids.
I didn't know there were 6 bus kids either.
That's what I heard today driving in.
Yeah.
I read some of the article. I glanced at it. Gave it a glance. Armstrong.
Clips.
It was clips. There was no videos in there to watch. I was reading my eyes. Left to right, up to down.
That's also how you do, I believe, the electric slide. Jeannie Buss was reportedly was upset with LeBron because he didn't show enough gratitude for them drafting Bronny.
I saw that. That's beautiful.
Yeah. And then also,
here's the thing. I'm like, what would make you think that he would show gratitude towards you? This is like you trying to appease your son. The more you give in, the more they're just going to take. It's like negotiating with the terrorists. It's the caliphate. They'll grab all unclaimed ground. The more you give, the more they take. And they're not going to be appreciative of any of it.
So she was so upset with LeBron's lack of gratitude and just overall with LeBron that she was exploring trading him to the Clippers.
There we go.
But it obviously inevitably didn't happen. But then she came out with a statement after all the stuff comes out. She had a statement yesterday that she thinks it's wrong that LeBron's being brought into her family drama, because that's where she thinks that the story came from, someone within the family that she's been
listen, there's nothing brings a family together like fighting over your dad's money.
It's like the TV show Succession.
It really is.
Playing out in real time. I can't, well, let me rephrase that. I was going to say I can't wait. But when the day comes, I'll be intrigued to see what happens with the Dallas Cowboys franchise when Jerry's
Well, I think Jerry Jr. is acknowledged that he gets to wear the dunce cap.
Okay.
And Steven's the one that's like
running the football stuff.
Yeah, dude. Steven has a chemical engineering degree from Arkansas. Like, you can say what you want about him, but they just don't give those out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if anybody wants to sit in like organic chemistry in college and do that. I'm not sure why that was his major.
Well,
I think he was going to they were doing oil. I think that's why that was the genesis of it. So he majored in organic chemistry, like on the pathway to help on the oil side. Jerry Jr. chose to enjoy the spoils of his family a little more. And I think, honestly, some of it was like they had some money growing up with Steven, but like they weren't exorbitantly wealthy. By the time Jerry Jr. kind of got to the table, I think everything was more set up a little bit. And so you even see that in families, the delineation where if you have a lot of kids or kids that are over a large period of time, things can change a lot in 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go from like, yeah, we're doing well, but we have to work every day. Dad's grinding. We're doing this. I'm going and helping him. Like, hey, you're going to college. You better get your crap get together, because we might not have all this or whatever it might be. And then you get to like the youngest kid and say, well, they're used to flying first class, going on vacations, whatever. Dad's fixing all the problems that they get into. And the older kids, like, and I know they have some resentment to like their siblings about that, just because of the difference in expectation of how they were raised and how they had to work for stuff and didn't get anything, and how by the time their younger siblings came through, it was like, yeah, it's cool, Oh yeah, we just go to the country club, pay it on, put it on Dad's tab.
This really does sound like Succession.
It really. That's what I'm saying. Like, this isn't. There's a reason why
that TV show is made and successful.
Like the screenplay for it, it's not like it's an original thought. Those are a lot of like personal and probably anecdotal stories that people pulled from some of these different situations.
That was great radio there. I don't know if you guys picked up on it by Bodie, but the way he started to say it, and then said, well, let me rephrase, I'm not looking forward to. And I was thinking, oh my God, are you talking about your dad dying and about fighting with your so I was like, because I'm not looking forward to it, but I am kind of want to see what happens when I was like, don't say your dad, don't say your dad, don't say your dad.
All right, Bodie, when he goes and watches his sister's cat, he's been putting like little carbon dioxide releases, just slowly going to poison him, poison his sister and her husband over a period of time. No one will ever know,
Then it'll all be left for me.
Everything.
Unfortunately, I don't think either one of my parents owned the Dallas Cowboys, but
hey, listen, I'll tell you this: Zach Thomas, he's from West Texas, and his parents, they did really well. They had a lot of success in oil, but he's a great guy, and he had some friends, like, because he was friends with who you were friends with. He's like, we went to a small school, lived in a small town, like there's not that many people your age. So he's one of his good buddies. Really didn't have the motivation in life to go do a whole lot of stuff. And so, he lived in more of a Cousin Eddie situation. And
where'd you get the tenement on wheels? There's an RV.
He was talking to Zach, and Zach was actually, I don't know if he's best man or he's in his wedding. And he's like, hey, called him, I'm going to get married, whatever. And Zach got married later in life, and his kids are like my kid's age, and he's 10 years older than I am. And he just got married before he got to Dallas to his lovely wife, Maritza. And he was talking, he goes, my buddy, I can't think of the guy's name. He had a great nickname for him. And he's like, he was telling me about his prenup. And he said, Zach was like, dude, you don't even really own anything. And he goes, hey, half is half. And Zach was, I'm like, that's amazing. I go, what a line. Zach goes, he might be worth $10,000. Like, he goes, I'm talking about if you add up every single thing he owns, maybe. And he's like, half is half. So God bless him.
That's outstanding.
So there you go, Bodie. Half is half.
Will you, if and I'm not wishing
murder
for
your
anything.
sister or find a way
to
find a way to get her out of there? You only have one. I've got 3 brothers, so there's a lot more planning and scheming that goes on. I mean, it's kind of
once
like
is an accident, but 3 times.
It's
it's start looking into that.
Well, it's kind of like a Big Brother situation. I mean, do you form an alliance, if you will, and maybe with one to take out the other 2, but then you have to turn on the alliance at the end, to really eliminate them.
Or do you just ride it out? I mean, you still go from 25 to 50%. Like,
if you're willing to do some things to get to your family members,
stop there. Yeah,
exactly.
Just go away.
You're not there. There's no loyalty among thieves at that point.
If something happens to your
and
sister,
by the way, you can't stop because here's the thing.
Yeah.
If you're thinking those thoughts, you might be thinking, are they turning on me? Do I have to get them before they get me?
That's why I never got rich.
That makes sense.
Half is half that off.
Nah, that's why I wasn't motivated, because I knew I was going to someday die, and I didn't want to have to deal with all that before I died. Do you get the cat?
Yes, I have.
Sprinkles?
Been told.
Is it in like is it an illegal
I don't know
document?
If it's in a will.
Right?
I think she texted it to me one time. She said I came across cats who end up in the shelter or whatever, and how terrible their life is, and I got crying. So, this is my sister's words, not mine. And I got crying, and she said, if anything ever happens to Zach and I, please take care of Banks.
Banksy cat?
So Banks, I need some sort of share of the money there, so I can send because my rent's gonna go up.
Of course it will. You got to pay that. Yeah.
So.
Talk about you move into their house.
What I would love to see happen.
I don't want to do that.
I'd love to see happen is there's some kind of trust set up to where you've got to talk to like a what would you call it, a trustee or something.
He's got to make sure he's off drugs. Do his monthly drug testing. They bring the cat in, weigh it, make sure you're feeding it enough.
Yeah,
give him some health scans, look over him,
and he's got to get approval. From somebody else to spend my local. I just saw this great cat toy. It's $3.99. Send us a picture. Take a look, send a receipt after you buy it. You know what I mean? We might have somebody stop by to make sure it actually is at your house and not just something you bought and returned. I hope it got that complicated for you. I don't know, for somebody, not you. But anyway, if I found that, that's interesting, Bodie. That's the case. Coming up next, we'll do quick hitters.
Would you spray paint the cat's tail if you lost it and you had to go back to the trustee?
The tail?
Have you ever seen if you found a new cat that kind of looked like the old cat, would you spray paint it to get it all there?
I'd like to think that my heart would be in the right place and I would do everything possible that nothing happened to
You've
the
never
cat.
seen Meet the Parents, have you?
Oh,
yeah, that's good. How many nipples thing?
Did you spray paint this cat's tail, Fokker?
Right. Oh, God. What was the other thing I was going to... Oh, you get frosted tips on that cat.
He is black, so...
See, there we go.
Be perfect for it.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. All right. That's what we fell on today, folks. Coming up next, we'll do quick hitters, morning juice.
I always tell people I was the luckiest guy in the world. I wanted to be an army man or a fireman, and I got to do both. As a firefighter, my job was about saving lives. I never thought one day I would be fighting for mine.
After spending his career answering the call to save others, Ken was diagnosed with ALS. Now he's facing his biggest battle. For more time. For 70 years, Muscular Dystrophy Association has been answering the call to help people live longer and more independent lives.
MDA means to me hope.
MDA is leading the way for people living with ALS, muscular dystrophy, and other neuromuscular diseases by accelerating research, advancing care, and advocating to empower families like Ken's.
I wouldn't be living as good of a life with ALS if it wasn't for MDA. MDA is helping people live stronger and love longer. Learn more at MDA.org today.
Hey guys, 13-year NFL veteran and Super Bowl champion Jason McCourty here, and I'm the Innovation Ambassador at FAIR, Food Allergy and Research Education. I would say the most challenging thing as a parent of a kid who has a food allergy is probably the ignorance that I myself had in the beginning. I didn't know what anaphylactic shock was. I didn't know the dangers, let alone the things that she needed to be able to have a normal life. When you go to drop your kid off, and every single time in the beginning, we'd have to go through everything she was allergic to. Preparation is everything. And me, for playing football for 13 years, it was all throughout the course of the week. It's getting ready for game day. When you're on the field, you're playing for your fans. At home, you're playing for your family. My playbook, read labels, keep it allergy friendly, and have an epinephrine nasal spray as a backup plan. Because when my family's safe from food allergens, that's the real victory. Visit foodallergy.org to learn more.
My mom is a veteran and she was injured in the line of duty.
I hurt my leg in a training accident when she was only 2 years old.
She had 7 different surgeries over the span of 9 years, and there were tons of complications.
I couldn't be the mom my kids needed me to be.
She missed so much.
After my last surgery, I got an infection so bad I thought it was going to kill me.
I told her she couldn't leave me yet. There was still so much she had to see. I hadn't even graduated.
I'm doing much better now. I may have lost my leg, but I've gained so much. I'm an active part of my kids' lives.
She can kick a mean soccer ball.
DAV's been there for me and my family. Through thick and thin, they've had our back.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans like Sandy get the health and disability benefits they've earned so they can achieve victories great and small.
My victory is getting my life back. I got my joy back.
We got our mom back, thanks to DAV.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Bobby Carpenter, husband, father, Buckeye. Jeff Thitoff, husband, father, idiot. This is Morning Juice.
Morning Juice. Tito, Carp, Bodie. And this is where Bodie, look, he shines bright all the time. But now he's going to shine bright like a diamond.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
All right, fellas, happy Thursday. We'll start here, some college football. It felt like the Washington versus DeMond Williams battle was going to be the biggest battle of this offseason's transfer portal window. And then Duke and their quarterback, Darian Mensah, stepped in, said, watch this. A handful of days after letting the school know of his plans to enter the portal, Mensah has been permitted to enter the portal, but he cannot roll at another school or play football for another college football team before a North Carolina judge rules on Duke's request for an injunction that would prevent him from leaving. That injunction hearing is scheduled for February 2nd, so about 10 days from now. Mensah, he signed a multi-year contract with Duke in July of 2024, so about a year and a half ago. And that was believed to be worth $4 million this season. And under the terms of Duke's NIL contract with him, any disputes between the parties must be settled through arbitration. So, Carp, another very messy situation with a top quarterback in the portal here that, by all indications, wants to be heading to Miami.
Because they're going to pay him more.
Yeah.
But if you have to go to binding arbitration, good for them for putting that in there, because that's not up to a judge now. So you can't file it anywhere. They're going to have it's not up to the public court system. It'll go to an arbiter, and they'll make the decision on what's going to happen. That is awesome. Good for Duke for putting that in there. Good for them for holding their feet to the fire. Bad job on Jim Phillips, because he should have gotten involved in this, the commissioner of the ACC. These are 2 teams within the ACC, so you have purview over it. Said Miami. You can't do this.
No, not happening.
This is ridiculous. Just because you whiffed on other quarterbacks. I get it. Great job playing for the national championship. That's awesome. You luring a quarterback out of Duke who you knew had a 2-year contract, this being the second year, and trying to say, hey, you're getting 4, we'll give you 5 or 6. He may want that, and that may be great, but that's not how contracts work in this world.
It's not, Bob, but I'm curious. See, I say curious again. God, I got to stop doing that. I wonder.
Whiskers.
Yes. Bob, at what point even though I hear what you're saying, the contract, and it should be binding. But at what point would a school say, like, you know what, you don't want to be here? We don't want you here anyway. Get the hell out.
So what's their other option?
What do you mean? The other option for them is
to play quarterback.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, play quarterback or stay at Duke and play quarterback.
What's their other option if they say, hey, that's someone goes, they're just doing this to get a big check? I go, I don't think so.
Just like Washington ACC last year, and he was good. Why would they not want him back?
But who else are they going to get?
No, I know.
The portal, like if they would have done this at the beginning of the portal, it's like, all right, you know what? You pay us restitution in this, pay us that money back plus another $2 million.
Right.
We'll go in there and we'll lure Sam Levitt here, or whoever, find a quarterback. It's done. Like, granted, there's still a lot of players in the portal.
Yeah.
That's a little bit like the end of the bin at Odd Lots right now. I mean, maybe getting some bargains. You might be able to buy some DVDs in there for $4.99.
Yeah. Oh, you need a starting quarterback? Here's a backup tight end.
Yes.
That. But he played quarterback in high school.
Played quarterback, and he came here as a quarterback. We moved him to tight end.
Do you think, Bob, that ultimately, like when the season opens up, Mentz is the starting quarterback for Duke?
I do. Because I don't think they want the money. I think they want him back.
Yeah.
And just like Damon Williams at Washington. Yeah. We're going to make you come back here with your tail between your legs.
It's not about the money, Bob.
It's not about the money.
It's about sending a message.
It is. And if you're Jim Phillips, you can't let this go down.
Yeah.
It's one thing if he was going to go to LSU or go to another conference.
Right.
But there are two schools within your conference. Now, you may think it's better if Miami's better, which that might be true. And if, like I said, if he would have done this a couple days into the portal, then it's a different situation. But I think Miami struck out on a couple other guys, and so then they're like, oh, let's grab him.
Yeah.
And now you got this issue.
Next up here, Timothy McCormick, a self-proclaimed gambling addict. He received a 2-year prison
gambling
sentence.
Expert?
Yeah, that too, maybe. 2-year prison sentence Wednesday as he became the first defendant to be sentenced for his role in the sweeping conspiracy involving NBA players, including Terry Rozier and Jonte Porter. A federal judge in Brooklyn handed down the sentence to McCormick, who defrauded sports betting platforms by using non-public information to place highly profitable wagers tied to the performance of NBA players. Allegedly
hasn't been proven
in on the scheme. I don't think that's alleged, Tito, but poor Timothy, 2 years in the joint. That's hey man, that's one way to send a message.
That is one way to send a message, and we're going to see more and more of this stuff pop up. I think I'm not sure how you would deter if they'll do enough to deter people from doing it, just because it.
Are you kidding me?
What's that?
How long is this guy going in the clink for?
2 years.
Got up. Those are rookie numbers. Got up those numbers, man. Put him in there for 5.
This goes back to our conversation about you want people to fight lions when they're getting the death penalty. Like
way.
I'm saying, but even if we had that, Bob, I still think there'd be murder. Like with this, I still think even if they do this, because guys are going to think they can do it without getting caught.
I don't know. Terry Rozier. Here's the thing: you put the other guys in prison for a long time too. This guy didn't have as much to lose.
Sure.
Terry Rozier and like some of those other dudes. I mean, they're making millions of dollars.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know if the commissary in the clink, I mean, if you can really spend that money the way that you want it there. You know, those guys are used to living a lifestyle like rap videos. Now they're going to be in there living like Shawshank.
Wow.
Cast you out
eventually.
Rip you out of that 1-bedroom Hilton and cast you down with the sodomites.
Right, which is why, like, I don't know. That's part that the fact that Rozier did it with all the money he's made in his contract and all that he was dumb enough to do this, short-sighted enough to do this.
Never underestimate the ignorance of the American populace.
Well, see, now that sounds like you're singling us out. I think there's other.
I'm just saying in general.
But I don't know. I don't think a 2-year prison sentence is going to deter some of these people that are looking for the fast buck.
So I'm
or whatever.
saying,
yeah,
the fast buck. But there's guys on the other side that have a lot to lose. So you can try. They're the ones that are delivering the information,
right?
So I mean, it's both sides of it. This guy's just willing to pay for it. Just because there's hookers out there, that doesn't mean I'm willing to pay for them.
I'd negotiate with them.
There you go.
The hooker get the joke.
I'm not going full price. I'm like, hey, I'm Tito from The Fan. You ever listen to my show?
So I don't know if he's made all this money or not as of recent, but per Spotrac, Terry Rozier in his career.
Well, that's real. He's made over $100 million.
$160 million.
Yeah, he's made well over $100 million.
Yeah.
That is real.
I wasn't sure. Like it says this year he's earning $26 million. I don't know
that's
if he's
real.
still...
Well,
he's still
probably
getting
not.
It. Like,
I think it's probably.
Yeah.
There might be a clause in that contract.
Shave that down a little bit, but nevertheless, it's still over $100 million even before this.
He was
going to
make 27. He forfeited the right to do that by doing dumb stuff.
Next up here, after playing at noon on Conference Championship weekend on Saturday for the last several years, the Big 12 Conference announced on Wednesday that they're moving their title tilt to Friday night starting this upcoming season in 2026. This year's game, go ahead and mark it on your calendars, December 4th. Kickoff is at 8 o'clock. Still going to be played down there at Jerry World at AT&T Stadium down there in Arlington. Carp, good move, bad move, indifferent. They had their own window at noon.
Well, they're battling with some
Friday
group of five schools. And I love the Friday night games. Mm-hmm. I think this is smart for them. Getting a window, Brett Yormark's trying some things, getting a window where you can be the premier team playing. Saturday at noon, not quite as good. I loved it. The MAC championship used to be then. It was over at Ford Field. When I was playing Detroit, I'd go watch it. It was a lot of fun. And so I think that's a good window. I give them a lot of credit for taking advantage of that and trying to hop on in there.
What's the date of, you said December
4th.
Will there still be high school football going on, I'm sure, in some states, right?
That might be a state championship. But a lot of those are played on Saturday at that point anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I just didn't know if it was going to conflict much with high school football. I know you don't like the college games on Fridays.
No, because those are terrible.
On high school. Well, I mean, is yours more because the games are terrible? Because high school games are on the same time.
Listen, once you get like a couple rounds into the playoffs, there's only a handful of games being played. But when every high school in Ohio that plays on Friday night is playing on Friday night,
right?
That's what I have a problem with.
I got you.
So you got 10 weeks. Like, can you just block out the first 12 and we'll call it a day, and we're good?
Yeah.
Yep.
Last one here, guys, in the NFL. If Browns fans didn't have too much of a rooting interest in the NFC South before, they might have at least a little bit more of one now. Following the Falcons' hiring of former Browns coach Kevin Stefanski, former Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield took to Twitter, and he tweeted this out earlier this week, quote, "Failed is quite the reach there, pal. Still waiting on a text or call from him." That'd be the Stefanski. "After I got shipped off like a piece of garbage. Can't wait to see you twice a year, coach." Mayfield's comments were in response to a Falcons beat writer discussing Stefanski's lack of strong quarterback play while coaching in Cleveland. So, Tito, little Browns on Browns crime here. I'd be interested to know which side Browns fans would be on. I'm sure they don't really care too much,
Probably
frankly.
Bakers.
But you think so?
Yeah. I think people lament the fact that they didn't appreciate Baker more when he was there, based upon how good he's looked with Tampa.
Since,
Yes.
and how bad the Deshaun
And how
Watson
bad
stuff
all of the rest of it is
been.
gone.
If Deshaun came out and was really good for the Browns, then I think
No one would care.
Nobody cares. Yeah, no one would care about it. The fact that he was the one they chose over Baker, and Baker went out there and played his ass off when he was injured still.
Sean went out there and got rubbed down.
I think that, yes, I think Browns fans would side with Mayfield on this one. But I love the swagger of Mayfield, that he's out there saying I get to play him twice a year, that kind of thing.
It's great.
I don't know. I think by the time the game comes around, you'll see him exchange pleasantries on the field.
I don't know about Baker. He kind of...
No.
I think he's a grudge holder.
Yes.
I'm not saying
he is not.
So.
Unless Stefanski goes to him,
That's
he
what I
is
think would
not
happen.
going up. You think so?
I could see Stefanski walking
I don't think
over to him.
Stefanski cares enough.
You don't think we'll see when the pregame stuff and NFL and on that day and they'll show some kind of clip of them talking out on the field together?
Nope. I do not believe that to be the case.
I mean, Mayfield won in the whole thing. Stefanski got fired.
So far,
I would say so.
I think if Stefanski goes and has more success in Atlanta, though, than Baker has and maybe continues to have in Tampa Bay, you could argue maybe he won more so. Because then Stefanski could be like, hey, Baker wasn't good enough. Deshaun wasn't my fault. That was Haslam's move.
Yeah,
now that I'm in a more stable franchise, you know what? The loser of all of it could be Cleveland, frankly, unfortunately, just because if Stefanski does win in Atlanta, then you kind of lost out on. And look, he's not Matthew Stafford or Drake May per se, but he's been a solid starting quarterback and better than what Cleveland had before him and since he's left. And if Stefanski wins in Atlanta, and that's a big if, but if he does, then Browns fans would be like, well, we had a coaching quarterback that were both maybe pretty good and kind of broke it all up. And I'd be fascinated to know, who really kind of pulled the trigger on Watson. I mean, I feel like it's always kind of been insinuated that Haslam was the biggest leader in the pack.
Well, I think he had to sign off on it because that was such a huge financial commitment.
That's true, yeah.
No GM or anybody is going to get that without the owner being complicit in it. I think there's enough, and I don't honestly. If you're Stefanski, you're giving me this playoff caliber quarterback. I think all of them were probably eager,
it's not like
and
Watson
on board.
was bad. Like
no,
he is now, but in Houston he was a stud. It wasn't even like he was like, well, pretty good. This isn't like Minnesota signing Kirk Cousins,
right?
Where it's like, hey man, we've been a mess since Brett Favre left. Like, let's just get a steady presence in here who's we know will be solid. I mean, Deshaun Watson was one of the best 5 or 6 quarterbacks in the league in Houston.
So the guy liked to go to massage parlors and get rubs.
Not illegal.
Well,
actually,
it might be.
But the way it went down,
it might be illegal. There's still legality still up for debate, but there's a lot of guys who I play with in the NFL who aren't necessarily the best guys you're going to find, but they could do their job really well. So people just overlooked it. It's like, okay, this guy likes to do this stuff. All right, well, just make sure you get the right masseurs and make sure you're paying him enough.
As one of my friends once said at a fantasy football draft when he drafted Tyreek Hill, somebody said, "Man, that guy's got a mean right hook," and my friend just deadpan was like, "Have you seen how fast he is, though?"
Yeah, if what leads me to believe it's Haslam is because if it was somebody else in the organization, and I don't think it would be Stefanski, but if it was maybe Barry, kind of pushed for that thing, he should be fired. Like,
I would have thought so too.
The fact that he's not leads me to believe that he wasn't the one, because whoever made the decision, whoever's the one who said yes.
I don't know if they could have known that he was going to be bad though when he got there. I don't think they thought he was going to get the additional suspension, and then he was going to tear his labrum, and then tear his Achilles, and just be bad.
Isn't that kind of the job of the general manager to figure that out?
I get it, and he may have pitched it to him, and he may have got really excited. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think it was a collaborative effort where everybody was wholly on board.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily disagree with your assertion that Andrew Berry should have been fired, because it's been a bad situation up there even since he's not been the guy. You got to figure it out.
It's amazing how the Browns are able to almost constantly be in rebuild mode.
Yeah.
Like, never. Like, I know that when the playoff game
There's
against
houses
Pittsburgh,
that are always under construction.
That one's got scaffolding all around it, though, every year, Bob.
Yeah,
and nothing gets done.
On offense. It's just a lack of weapons. And then even this year, it's like, okay, at least he built around Judkins, and then he breaks his leg, which, you can come back from, but it's a tough way to end what was a very promising rookie season. And now, once again, and it's priceless because they always seem to have a high draft pick.
Right.
But they actually, I feel like, don't pick at first or second that often.
They never get that
to
high.
Get the very top quarterback.
Were they 3 this year? And then traded back with Jacksonville this past season? I mean, I know they traded
2
back.
or 3.
2 or 3. They might have been 2. Yeah, but you're right. They rarely have that.
And look, based off of Hunter's rookie year,
yeah,
they've won that trade so far.
So far they have, yeah.
That was pretty unfortunate that Jacksonville turned around and won 13 games. You probably thought that was going to be a higher pick in this upcoming spring. And then, I don't know, with the next year's quarterback class, frankly, they would be better off having another bad year to hopefully get one of those guys next year. But you feel like you say that every year with Cleveland, where it's like, if they're just bad this year, though,
right,
and they get the right quarterback,
they got to be badder, though. They got to be badder.
Yes. Poor Browns fans. It's not to make fun of you. I sympathize with you.
I make fun of them. Coming up next, Albert Breer joins us. Morning Juice.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. You don't want to start the new year off hurting. You don't want to start off the new year getting surgery. You don't want to start off the new year dealing with trying to plan something out into the future. What you want to do is get healthy. So what you want to do is go to my friends over at QC Kinetics. Dr. Tesner and his team, the medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Columbus, they can deliver regenerative treatments that actually help your body repair the areas that are causing you pain. Those achy knees, hips, back, shoulders, whatever it is, they can help you get ready. So instead of those invasive operations, it's going to sideline you all of the early year. Go check out our friends at QC Kinetics and see if they can help you today. Imagine moving better, being stronger, planning your year, doing what actually you want to do. So don't wait. Call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. They have offices located in Dublin and Gahanna, and they're ready there for your free consultation. So go check them out today.
While serving in Vietnam, a grenade took my ability to see. Today, I'm a sculptor. Now, my fingers are my eyes. I'm Michael Naranjo. As a veteran, I know the challenges of life can be great. In my art, turning a lump of clay into something beautiful, that is worth doing. Life is like that. We each must use what we can to make things better.
DAV helps veterans like Michael get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year in life-changing ways.
Now, I show others how they can create something with their own hands. I know it can do a lot of good. With support from DAV, more veterans can shape their lives into a thing of beauty. My victory is bringing beauty into the world.
Michael Naranjo, may your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Miss Fernandez, what are those tiny things?
Those are what we call amoebas. You can only see them through a microscope.
Wow.
Today's students are tomorrow's great thinkers and innovators. But right now, there's a funding crisis in public schools. Millions of kids go to schools that don't have funding for books, computers, and so much more just because of where they live. You can help change that. Donors Choose is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. You choose which supplies to support. You could provide first graders with pencils and paper, or other students with their first chapter books, help a music class get a guitar.
You could even supply a classroom like mine with a science project. But what you're really giving is the moment that sparks a brighter tomorrow.
To learn more, please visit DonorsChoose.org. That's DonorsChoose.org. Choose students. Shape the future.
Proud to be your go-to sports addiction.
WBNS, WBNS FM, HD3 Columbus.
The Fan 3, Ohio's sports destination. One man is a national champion, NFL veteran, and local business leader. The other man is Tito. This is Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town, the opportunity to work alongside them as partners? Whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank of Dublin has the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area and will help you reach your goals. So whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to get to know them in person at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Bob, Hall of Fame chatter Troy Fountain, Arizona, who we're not sure if he's just coming back from the night out or just getting up early, said that the other 31 teams all would have made the same decision the Browns did.
Yeah, I'm not debating that. I don't know about all 31. Some probably had quarterbacks they were good with.
Right.
But anybody that was needy of a quarterback would have done that. I know the Saints. There were other teams that were involved in that. The Browns were just the only ones that were willing to guarantee the whole deal.
The Falcons where he wanted to go, if I remember correctly. Originally.
That sounds right, I think they were like almost headed over the finish line.
Yeah.
Because I think Cleveland at some point, like Schefter, Rappaport, and those guys came out and reported that Cleveland was out of the mix. And then
they said,
a couple hours later,
hold
it's like,
my beer.
How about 200, whatever it was, 50 million? Yeah.
240 guaranteed.
You don't even have to play.
Yeah,
literally.
Right. Yeah, just do what you got to do. We're good. Is this the last year for it coming up now? Or does he have one more after this?
I think this is it.
This is it, right?
I want to say so. Maybe
it's either that or maybe they can actually financially get out of it.
They can get out of it without just getting completely bent over.
Bent over, I'll show you. I don't understand how this stuff works. Yeah, sorry, Tito. I was going to try to tell you, but it's like, so per Spotrac, 2026, the cap hit would be $80 million, but then next year it'd be 25.
Yeah, so they could get out of that.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a $25 million cap hit, but that's a lot different than 80.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, he'll be on the roster for this year, and that's probably it.
I wonder if looking at the current state of the quarterback room with Cleveland, should they play him if he's healthy?
No.
Okay. I'm just saying, if you've got Gabriel,
why?
Well, Gabriel hasn't shown us anything.
He's only played half a year.
I understand.
He got hurt.
He got thrown into the fire. I would think that Deshaun, if he's healthy, gives you a better chance to win games.
Why would you think that? What evidence over the last 5 years has he shown that he's capable of winning games?
He hasn't shown capable. He has had great opportunities, but he's been hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, but we've seen Deshaun Watson though play really well before he got to Cleveland.
Sure.
And he's been battling injuries the whole time here.
Even when he was here, he hasn't played well though.
How many games has he played here?
I don't know, like 14.
Okay.
It's not many, but he hasn't played great in those games. It's not like when he was playing, he was really good.
Right. So you don't think that he would give you the best chance? It just like off the top, like when you're thinking about it, you don't think that he would give you the best chance, a better chance to win a game than Gabriel or Shedeur?
No, because he hasn't played in so long consistently. And by the way, what are you finding out with him? Like, you already know what he is. You're not keeping him. So why is the incentive to try to win games? They're not going to go to the playoffs this year.
Okay.
Well, never know.
I think we know. I think that would pretty much.
I think you have to play Sanders, though.
You play
I think
Sanders.
he showed enough that you have to figure out next year.
And let him have a whole training camp as the starter.
Yeah. New coaching staff.
Right.
Be interested to see who they land on. It kind of feel like I haven't seen too much outside of Jim Schwartz.
Right.
I don't know if Browns fans would like that because the defense has played well in recent years, or if you'd rather just totally reset the coaching staff. Because obviously,
I don't think they want to lose Schwartz though, because that defense is playing really well. So that's the problem, is they've got to figure out what they're going to do. Do you bring in an offensive coach and keep Schwartz? Do you make Schwartz the head coach, bring in an offensive coordinator?
Yeah.
And how do you juggle that?
I thought I saw there was maybe a potential that they would keep Tommy Rees, my beloved former quarterback.
He's down in Atlanta
but he
now.
went to Atlanta. Yeah, so we'll see, I guess.
And now we are joined by MMQB's Albert Breer. Albert, good morning. We were just talking about the Browns coaching situation, and if there's been any favorites emerging, anybody that you think that is the leader in the clubhouse, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I still think Jim Schwartz has got a really good shot there. I think that they've committed more than some other teams to going through, a pretty full process. And so Jesse Minter, the Chargers defensive coordinator, is going to be in there today. He was with the Ravens yesterday, the Raiders the day before that. Grant Udinski, the Jaguars offensive coordinator, is 30 years old, is in there tomorrow. And then Nathan Scheelhaas, who's an interesting candidate, 35 years old. You guys may remember him, former Illinois quarterback.
When I heard his name pop up, Albert, I immediately was like, is that the same Nathan Scheelhaas that played at Illinois? And yes, it is.
Yeah. So he's the Rams pass game coordinator. He actually was in the running to replace Matt Campbell at Iowa State, because that's where he rose to the ranks.
It was his OC.
Under Matt Campbell. Right. And then, he made the jump to the NFL, and ultimately I think he could have had that job, but wanted to stay in the NFL because I think he's getting close now to the point where being an NFL head coach, and, the Steelers and Ravens are still in on him too. So he's an interesting name. Where are you taking a little bit of a chance? Because, he still hasn't reached the coordinator level. Sure. But because he was a quarterback, he's got presence, there's a lot to like there. So those are sort of the guys that they've looked at. As you guys know, they McDaniel was supposed to be in Wednesday. I got these things all mixed up now, and canceled. And then they had Schwartz Monday and Tuesday. Who was it? Tuesday it was, this is all running together now, guys. I don't have it in front of me, but they have 5 names right now. And we'll see where it goes from there. But it wouldn't be surprising if it was Schwartz. It wouldn't be surprising if maybe it was an offensive minded guy with Schwartz as his as the DC. And Minter's kind of a little bit of a wild card, just because he's interviewed really, really well and has gotten to the second round with a bunch of these teams. Like I told you guys, he would have, he already interviewed with the Raiders and the Ravens this week. He actually would have gotten a second interview too. He was in the final group with the Falcons if they hadn't moved on Kevin Stefanski.
So what a lot of people around here want to know is we can merge little NFL and college.
Yeah.
Matt Patricia on the short list, I'm sure, for some of these defensive coordinator positions that are still open. Like, what is his appeal? And do you think that he would be someone that, some of these guys would be looking to add on staff, whether they're building a whole staff out or even in a place like Dallas where there's an opening at the DC position?
Sure. I mean, I think, well, like, let's say, like, if Matt Nagy had gotten the Tennessee job, I think he may have made a run at trying to get Patricia. Now, obviously, that's off the table because, Robert Saleh got the job. Robert runs a completely different system than that. So, that's not in play the way it was. So I think, like, these things sort of float around this time of year, and coaches have their wish lists. And so I don't think you guys would be surprised to hear that Patricia's on a couple of these guys' lists, but doesn't mean he's going anywhere. It's just sort of going to come down to what he wants. And I haven't gotten any sort of indication right now that he's closing in on one of the DC jobs. But I think if he really wanted to pursue one, it might be there for him.
Albert Breer joins us here from MMQB on Morning Juice. Albert, what's the more attractive job right now, Baltimore or Buffalo?
See, I've gotten this question a lot, and I think it's an interesting one, Tito. Like, I think it just sort of depends on how you look at it, right? Like, so Buffalo has, what I think is the words unique and generational gets thrown around too much. Like, this is a truly unique generational talent, right? And you're going to be in a window to compete for Super Bowls in the next few years. Clearly, they're going to operate with a sense of urgency. If they weren't planning on operating with a sense of urgency, they wouldn't have gotten rid of Sean McDermott. And so you have a window here where you can compete for championships in a place that's never won one. So you got to balance that versus the organizational stability in Baltimore. The one thing I'd be like a little concerned with Baltimore, because obviously they've got a great quarterback too, right? But Lamar's been pretty beat up the last couple of years. And I think part of your calculus on that one has to be how much longer is he going to hold up? And if we are going to pay him this offseason, right, then how do you feel about where he's going to be 3 or 4 years from now? Because he's got 2 years left on his deal. And so if he's going to do a new deal, you're probably guaranteeing money into year 3, year 4. And so what does Lamar Jackson look like at 28, 29 years old? Is he still a superstar, or is he physically at the point where he's broken down and his contract is an anchor? And I think that's a fair question to ask. And it's not to say Lamar is going to break down. It's more just we haven't seen a quarterback take on the workload in the run game that he's taken on. Historically, there's just no precedent for it, So we don't know what that's going to look like when a guy who's got that sort of mileage on his body is going into his 30s. So I think that complicates the Baltimore job a little bit. And then if you don't sign him, you may have a bigger problem. One thing you notice too is his down years have come, when he's been in contract situations, 21, 22, and now 25. And so, it'll just be interesting to see the way that one plays out. I think Baltimore is probably on balance for like the next 10 years, the better job, but Buffalo might be the better job for the next 5.
Surprised at some of these owners, Biscotti, and then obviously Pagula up there in Buffalo would just, I don't want to say bizarre, but kind of maybe how flippant or arrogant that they've come off of with just their firings. Especially Pagula, and then even Biscotti a little bit. It seemed like the guy had a couple of scotches up there, as he's just talking and talking through.
Yeah, like 3 buttons down, one elbow on the table. And it's
like you just fired a guy who'd been there for 20 years, who's one of the most well-respected guys. And he just, how he was discussing things, it didn't seem like there was, I don't want to use contrite or contrition, but it didn't seem, usually those press conferences are a little bit
somber.
Yes, because especially when you fire somebody that's well-regarded and had a lot of success, it's something that the owners usually like, I didn't want to do this. I just felt like we need to go in a different direction. Not, hey, make a couple jokes and we're just moving on. Hey, this guy wanted to draft him. We told him not to. Now he's got to eat it. By the way, Keon Coleman's still on the roster. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, so I would say what you saw over the last week, as far as that goes, is why a lot of people in these organizations don't want their owners talking publicly, and why when Jerry lets it fly, it sounds so different. Because I think that's what happens when you've got somebody up there who's got all the power and no one to answer to. It's
a great feeling.
And yeah, I mean, it must be great to be a billionaire, right? And so, but that's part of it. You know what I mean? Like, is that Steve Bisciotti and Terry Pegula don't really have bosses to answer to. And the thing that sucks about it is sometimes some of the things that these guys say, it ends up with somebody else holding the bag for it. So I would say in Bisciotti's case, there was a little more like honesty, and I think like when you watch Bisciotti, that's kind of who he always is. You know what I mean? So I don't think, and I might be wrong about this, I don't want to speak for John Harbaugh, but I don't think John would be overly offended by anything that Steve said or how he carried himself, because that's just who Steve is. Mm-hmm. Pegula was a little different to me, because Pegula, like that comment he made on Keon Coleman. I mean, the guy's still on the team. You know what I mean? And you're basically just telling a guy, like, everybody is now leaving the building, and good luck, buddy. So I think you're right. Like I also felt like, honestly, like if you listen to Bisciotti, there was a little bit more appreciation for what John Harbaugh had done. It was in his own way, but with Pegula, it almost felt like he was like pointing the finger at McDermott for things going the wrong way, And so again, like I think this is part of the whole deal is, and this is probably why we don't there are a lot of owners we don't hear speak very much, because they're being advised not to, because sometimes they lack the training, the everyday training that players and coaches get to deal with the media, and B, they don't have to sit up there petrified that they're gonna pay some price for something they say up there. They don't really have anybody to answer to.
Albert Breer joins us from MMQB. Albert, are there any high-profile players or a high-profile player that you think will be traded this offseason?
I mean, I'm sure there will be. I mentioned Lamar's contract situation. I'd imagine, like, if that isn't taken care of by, early March, the Ravens will get phone calls. That doesn't mean he's going to be traded, but there are a couple of those quarterback contract situations where if they drag, they could elicit some phone calls. CJ Stroud, I don't know if the Texans are going to extend him. If they decide not to extend him, does somebody swoop in and make a Hail Mary offer to get him out of there? I don't know one way or another whether or not like those teams would ever even entertain at this point the idea of moving those guys. Obviously one of those teams, the Ravens, doesn't have a coach right now, but I think what you're going to see this offseason on the other end of it is teams being more aggressive about like looking at situations like that, particularly a quarterback, and just making the phone call. And part of the reason why is because the draft class isn't great at the position outside of Fernando Mendoza. When Dante Moore went back to school, I think most teams kind of came to the conclusion this draft could be a quarterback going first overall, and then there not being another one the first night of the draft. I think that's definitely in play. And if that's the environment and there are a bunch of teams out there near the top of the draft that need quarterbacks, well, you're going to have to start to think and act creatively, And so one of those creative things to do is to look at other teams' quarterback situations and say, is there trouble in paradise there? Are there some issues there? Maybe I ought to just make that phone call. And so I do think some of those phone calls will be made. I mean, like someone's going to throw a Hail Mary at the Bengals, right? Like somebody's going to throw that Hail Mary and say, like, I wonder if Joe Burrow's not happy, And I'd expect the Bengals to summarily hang up the phone. But what harm is it in making that phone call? You know what I mean? If you're the other team.
Where do you think Pittsburgh goes with their decision? Because this is a team that doesn't hire coaches very often. So you could argue they're inexperienced at it, but they're also probably good at it maybe. bringing in Mike McCarthy. They've always brought in younger-ish guys. It seems a little bit out of the mold, and I say always, meaning the last 3 times.
Yeah, so they had Mike McCarthy in there yesterday. I mean, I would say they're pretty wide open, and I feel like they and the Ravens have both taken this approach where, and it's, I think, really backed up by their history. Like, we're going to look at everything and everyone we can. We're going to go through a real process. We don't need to be on anybody else's timeline because our job is attractive. So we don't need to race to hire someone the way the Giants race to hire John Harbaugh, the way that the Falcons race to hire Kevin Stefanski, or even this week with Saleh and Hafley, earlier in the week with the Dolphins and Titans racing to hire those guys and stop them from taking more interviews. So like, I think that, if you're those teams, you're best served by your own history, and the Steelers' history was in 2007, everybody thought they were hiring Russ Grimm or Ken Wisenhunt because they were very successful assistants on Bill Cowher's staff, but they went through a full, thorough process and landed on Mike Tomlin, who was 34 at the time. Same with the Ravens. The Ravens, and Bobby, I think we talked about this last week. You remember this, like Jason Garrett pulled his name out of the Ravens search. Jason Garrett was high up on their list.
Yeah.
And actually, funny story, Jerry had to pay Jason Garrett so much to stay that Wade Phillips was no longer the highest paid coach on his own staff.
Yep.
And so he had to give Wade a bump to make sure the head coach was still making more money than the offensive coordinator. But that year, Jason Garrett and Josh McDaniels were high up on the Ravens list. They pulled their names out, and they wound up hiring a special teams coach, and John Harbaugh worked out pretty well. So, I think both those teams' own experience, they haven't gone through this in a long time, obviously, has marked the way they've handled this whole thing. And so, I mean, with either of those teams, like some sort of curveball would not surprise me whatsoever, because that's exactly what Tomlin and Harbaugh were when they were hired.
Get you out on this one, Albert. Is a Stidham versus Darnold Super Bowl good for the NFL, bad for the NFL, or it really doesn't matter?
So it depends on what you mean by good and bad. I would say when you're talking about the fan who is locked in like all of us are, right? The people who are always watching, and there are tens of millions of those people, it's a good thing because I think it provides hope for everybody, right? In other words, it means even if you don't have Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, even if you don't have one of these guys, you still have a chance. In other words, you can still win a Super Bowl with Joe Flacco and that Ravens team. You can still win a Super Bowl with Eli Manning and that Giants team if you're good enough around the quarterback, right? Where it's bad for the NFL is, I think, what they're worried about is the big number, right? Like the viewership number. And so, like, where it hurts the NFL is, like, you lose the drive-by viewer. You know what I mean? Like, you may lose the person who, like, okay, like, I'm on a ski trip, and, like, say you're out west on a ski trip, the game starts at 2 o'clock local or 3 o'clock local. Am I going to cut my day short to go in and watch or not? Maybe that person isn't cutting their day short to watch. So I think for, like, the fan that is in it and watching every day, and you're in one of the 32 fan bases, it's great because it really does provide hope for everybody that it's possible to get there, even if you don't have an elite quarterback. But on the flip side, just as far as generating the biggest viewership number, because you don't have the big names in the marquee at the most important position, it probably does hurt you.
I know you've run a half marathon so far this morning before you got on the air with us. Go out and finish up your marathon, and we'll talk next week, Albert.
All right. Thanks, guys.
That was Albert Breer, MMQB, joining us there. Dude's dedicated.
Yeah, he does a great job. Well, I mean, he's not one of the guys that Pat McAfee talks about that just eat like crap and hate the sports they cover. So that's a big thing for him, which is tremendous.
Yes. Coming up next, NFL picks, and it's a Brody Thursday. Ya Highness joins us. Morning Juice.
I slept in a lot of different rooms, different beds, but none of them really felt like mine. I spent 14 years in foster care, mostly in group homes. And I never had much stuff because I always had to be ready to move. Why get things if you just have to let them go?
There are more than 100,000 children in foster care waiting to be adopted. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is working to help find them a forever family and a permanent home of their own.
Now I have my own room with walls that tell my story. I love hanging out in here. I play dress up with my sisters and I sing and make videos. But the best part, knowing I'll always have a place to go and a family that loves and supports me.
If you have room in your home or your heart, see how you can help at davethomasfoundation.org.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Around the world, Children International and friends like you are giving children in poverty a chance to grow and thrive, to be healthy, to succeed in school, and achieve great things. How do we do it? In the best way possible, by helping ensure access to healthcare, nutrition, and educational opportunities, and most importantly, by empowering youths and their families to get out of poverty and into employment through life skills, computer, and job training. The very tools they need to break the cycle of poverty and build futures full of promise. Because every child deserves a chance to realize their full and best potential. Learn more about how Children International is empowering children and families by going to children.org today. That's children.org.
Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
All right, folks. It's Thursday, almost 7:30. We all know what that means.
Morning Juice presents NFL Picks.
Sponsored by Roosters. Roosters is giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences, tickets, sideline passes, trips to a first-round postseason game, and more. Register today at roosterswings.com.
I've lately been dominating Bobby in the picks, and by lately I mean last week. Ya Highness joins us now. We'll make our NFL picks. All three of us will go around the room. Bodie, get us going.
All right, guys. Last week, Tito, 4-1. Bobby, 0-5.
I got smoked, man.
And Ya Highness nailed all the NFL games, only missed on the national championship game between the U and IU. All right, guys, just 2 games, 3 games left in the football season, 2 of them on Sunday. No Saturday football this weekend for the first time since probably before Labor Day weekend, right?
I would say so, yeah.
That's a bummer. Nevertheless, 2 games on Sunday. Got the conference title tilts. First up in the AFC, New England is on the road against the Denver Broncos. Kickoff is at 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, and the Patriots are favored by 4.5, Carp.
Ooh, I'll lay the points there. Part of me thinks I should maybe take them, but I'm going to lay the 4.5 with New England. I think Jared Stidham being there, that's going to be the delineating factor to me.
Before I make my pick, are we going to have more than 3 games to pick the rest of the year?
What other games are we going to pick?
A Pro Bowl, maybe? A college?
College what?
All-star game?
College football just ended.
Don't we still have like an East-West game or North-South
Those
or
aren't
Shrine?
real.
But that's going to affect my pick,
Senior
though.
Bowl.
If you tell me we only have 3 left and you've clinched it already, that changes my pick.
Pick whatever you want. We're not.
I think, Tito, I think you lost. I hate to say
I went 0-5 last week and you still lost.
I feel like you're kind of the guy who's asking for extra credit right now. just to get the curve and
absolutely
get to a C-. Okay. But you had the entire semester to get the job done.
Now he's attacking me.
I'm just pointing
that's
out.
Fine. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, Bob, I'm gonna concede that you won. Okay, I will make the call. I will do the Al Gore call or whatever, giving you the win.
The votes are in though. That's
it's technically maybe. I will take the Patriots and lay the 4.5. Your Highness, what do you got?
Well, I would just like to say, if you're Al Gore, then I'm the hanging Chad. So I'm taking the Denver Broncos. I know you got to be old to understand that joke. Thank you, Tito, for getting it. That was a 25-year-old joke.
I'm with it.
Florida. Bobby was still in college, I think, when that.
It's in high school, technically.
Anyway, yeah, there you go. Give me Jared Stidham and the Broncos, baby. I went back and went through the whole draft scouting report on this kid. High IQ. Reads the defense well, very coachable, great touch passer. They only knock him on a little bit of arm strength, and he tends to drop the eyes under pressure. At home, Sean Payton loves this guy. Went out and got him. Give me the Broncos 5.5. You got 4.5. They probably win this game outright. You're the horse, baby. Book it.
I don't hate that. The 4.5. If it was under 3.5, I'd feel. If it was 2.5, I'd feel better. But I don't necessarily love it over a field goal.
You can still get this at 5.5 for those listening.
Ooh.
There you go. All right, NFC title game in Seattle between the Rams and Seahawks. Carp, Seahawks favored by 2.5 at home.
I've been riding the Rams the whole time, even though they didn't cover for me last week.
The hook, gotcha.
The hook, I know. Listen, the hook will set you free or it'll snare you. It snared me. It was bad. But I'm still riding with my man, Matty Stafford. I think they win the Super Bowl.
Oh.
I am going to take the Seahawks in this one. And I think we're staring at a New England-Seattle Super Bowl, but I think that
rematch.
Seahawks are very, very tough at home.
I guess it'd be a rematch of either way if New England wins.
Yep.
You know how tough they are at home, Tito? They're 14-2 against the spread as favorites at home. We already know the Rams can't play outdoors. We saw it in Carolina. We saw it in Chicago. Do you think the weather's going to be good in Seattle? I don't think so. Sam Darnold without the Charbonnet guy, Walker the third, running it up the middle. Give me the Seahawks to cover. We got a Broncos-Seahawks Super Bowl. Thank you very much.
Another
West
rematch.
Coast is the best coach.
Your Highness,
right,
good morning. How are things going with you?
Good morning. I lost $500 on our free play on a race to get to $1 million yesterday, but it's okay. We're still only down like $200 for the month on that. Stick with me. You'll be all right. We're going to be millionaires before March Madness. If you're a part of the community, we're on an absolute tear. $100 bettors should be up over $10,000 these first two. We're killing it. We're absolutely killing it. So I dive deep into this New England-Denver game, by the way, because this one really intrigues me more so than the second game. Here's something that's just jumping out at me.
You got some alt lines.
I'll give you
some props.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Well, I'm following the money. They tell you everywhere in life, if you follow the money, you got the answers, right? So I'm looking through the money. 76% of the bets, 76% of the money is pouring in on the Patriots. Okay, line opened up at 5.5. Some places you can still get there. Some places it's dropped to 4.5. Now let me give this perspective. Indiana, when they opened up against Miami, was 5.5. All the money came pouring in on Indiana. That jumped up to 6.5, 7.5, 9.5, even at one point. Why is the line going the other way? It's because I think the books know something here. They won't look. If you're the book operator, sportsbook operator, and I got 75% of people betting one side, I'm not giving them less points. I'm going to make them pay a higher tax at 6.5, 7.5. There's something to be said there. I think Broncos. Go ahead.
I would say, are you? And I mean this with all respect. I don't know the answer, but are you an influencer though? Like if somebody picks up,
hold on a second.
Your money, what?
An influencer. I feel like that's not really a job. Like that's just a title people give.
No, I'm saying, does he influence the lines?
It's made up by 22-year-old kids. Yeah. Do I influence the lines? I don't bet enough. I bet $400 or $500 ain't moving a line anywhere, one way or the other.
Okay.
Now on this race to $1 million, I'm telling you, when we start betting $250,000, $500,000, we will move lines. But at this point, $500 bet ain't moving a line. You got people dropping $450,000 on college basketball first halves. That's how they got busted at that gambling ring, by the way.
Was that you, Ya Highness?
the largest bet I've ever made on one single game is $1,500. That's the most I've ever risked on one game. Hopefully, on our way to $1 million, we'll surpass that. But yeah, on a MAC basketball first half spread, there wasn't $450,000 bet on the entire game. These guys dropped. We're talking about that point shaving scandal going on in college basketball. They're breaking out. Yeah, that's why they got busted. $450,000 on a MAC first half game. And the star players missing free throws, not even hitting the rim. Oh, I wonder. By the way, these kids got $10,000 to ruin their lives.
That's what's amazing.
That's terrible. What are you kids doing?
That's what I'm amazed
I thought
with.
they were going to get them.
Yeah, when I saw that, I'm like, the guys that are giving out the information or fixing, like, you better be getting compensated at a very high level because you're the one that's going to take the brunt of the fall. I can't conceive why they would do that for such a paltry sum.
I agree 100%. I thought the number was going to be six figures. I thought maybe they were giving this kid like $100,000 or something. You know, I can understand if you didn't come from much or very meager beginnings, $100,000. Heck, $100,000 cash money on the spot's a lot for anybody, but especially for an 18, 19-year-old kid. I thought the NIL, part of the NIL was to kind of alleviate some of this, right? We were going to actually start paying the players. I think this has gone real sideways. I'm going to get off on a tangent for 2 seconds. The president of Miami was on Pat McAfee's show before the championship game. And he said something I think we need to touch into, which is the conference come together, because then when they come together, they can go to the Congress for the antitrust or whatever the TV deals are. Yeah, and they can work together and come together, and then they can use that money to spread out amongst the conferences and then work the players in. I think in the next 2-3 years, we see college football separate from the NCAA and create their own thing with their own TV rights and TV deals, and then have a player share revenue where the players are getting, let's say, 40% of the TV money spread out amongst them. That way the universities have full total control, which is what they really want.
Ya Highness, there was someone in the chat said that let Ya Highness know he has a fan. He's a very happy customer in Columbus. I know that, like you said, you guys have been on fire. He's been following your picks, your advice, and that kind of thing. And I know that last night you had it would be the fourth bet in your chain to 16, right? The $500 bet.
Yeah, to $1 million.
Right. And
I keep getting stuck on this step, by the way. So go ahead.
Okay. The Philadelphia and Utah game, your pick was Utah it was minus 1.5, but really, on that one is where it was. But Philadelphia went up. They were up 2-0 in the first period, about 5 minutes in. You, as a professional gambler, professional bettor, in a situation like that, did you ever consider cashing out if there was a cash out option?
Never. First of all, the first period of hockey is worthless. I never even turned the game on until the second period, in which they scored another goal and they were down 3-0. So I turned the game off and watched something more. They tried to make a comeback. They got it to 2-3, and then I think they won in overtime.
They won in overtime. Yeah, Utah won in overtime.
Never in my life, and I've been doing this professionally over 3 years now, have I ever hit that cash out button. You hedge against. First of all, I'm not a huge parlay guy, so some of these guys got these massive 12-leg parlays, and that's why they're cashing out. If you see me put a 3-leg together, that's a pretty big deal. But yeah, a lot of straight bets. I think that was plus money, so it was $500 to win $750 or something last night. Why do you sell your stock when they're dipping, or do you sell them when they're at their high point? It's amazing to me how many people in sports bet wait till their stuff is worth nothing to sell. You don't sell your house when the housing market crashes, right? That's not when you wait to sell your house. You don't sell your car, whatever. Anything with value in life, you don't sell it when it hits rock bottom. So all those people looking to cash out when you're down 2-0, find something else to do, because sports betting ain't for you.
Yeah, buying or selling low is usually how I score out on East Main Street. But so.
Hey, we don't need to hear about your love life, baby. Come on now.
You're assuming it's my love life. But anyway, I'll be honest, not a lot of love in those relationships. But anyway, when football...
Stay away from Heather's.
That's great advice. Where the hell were you 20 years ago? That right there, I should have cashed that one out. The first one I did eventually. But nonetheless, after football ends, do you focus more on hockey, basketball? What do you focus on then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, we're an equal opportunity better here. We're not prejudiced based on the size of the balls or how big the balls or the shape of the balls. You know, sometimes they're pucks, sometimes they're balls, sometimes they're sticks. Well,
sometimes it's one.
Yeah, well, Tom Brady is the only guy I know that likes the deflated balls. But so your hockey is going to be your big money maker. This is where we pay our bills for the whole year. The next 3 months, we'll pay our bills for the whole year just on hockey alone. College basketball, we're doing very well on as well. I don't know what the NBA is. I don't watch it. I don't talk about it. We don't touch it. And then we got golf. So for me, the golf season starts at the Waste Management, which is coming up here just in a few weeks. I know you got your buddy John comes on here and does his golf picks very, very good. I skin the cat a little bit differently. I do a little bit head-to-head each round. And then what we do is we find a guy that we like, and that becomes our huckleberry. And we throw about a $20, $25 bet on him to win every single tournament. Last year was Justin Thomas. I think we hit twice, and then we stopped. This year we're going to be doing Tommy Fleetwood Mac. So basically every tournament we're going to bet on Tommy Fleetwood Mac. That's right, Fleetwood Mac, the musician. I got nicknames for all these golfers. But yeah, pick your dollar amount, 10, 20, 30, $100, and you bet him to win every tournament. Once he hits once or twice, you're good. The math is he needs to win about 1.3 tournaments. And you're saying, Tommy Fleetwood, he's never won. Yeah, he won last year the Tour Championship. I think that got the curse or whatever you want to call it off his back. He's got the game. I think it was a mental thing. Fleetwood Mac, I think, wins 2 professional golf tournaments this year.
I don't know if this is a compliment or not, or how you should take this, but Phil in the chat, Hall of Fame chatter, says, Ya Highness looks much more sophisticated without the hat on. I don't know if that's good or bad for your image, but you look much more sophisticated.
You know what? When I start listening to the peoples online, I'll be in a mental institution. But look, I got the hairline like a Cadillac seat. You know, it's going back. You know, I'm getting late 30s, early 40s here. The hairline's starting to go. You got to rock the hat, keep the ladies happy. But yeah, I just whatever. I do a little water and gel in it today. You come out of camera here. You know, it's a radio show, but you come out of camera here, you got to be looking very svelte for the folks at home. You know, they're right there. I got a lot of haters. I can't give more reason to hate on me, Tito.
So WeWinUwin.com. How we do with the Super Bowl squares sales?
Halfway there. So what are we, 2 weeks out from the Super Bowl, right? So we're halfway there. Like most of you procrastinators, you wait to the last week and get on in on. So if you're first time hearing about this, it's $60 a square. We give $10 to Jacksonville Sports Boosters, which takes underprivileged families in Jacksonville, Florida, and pays for their sports and activities. You have 5 chances really to win. So you can have the actual winning square, duh. And then you have the north, the south, the east, and west square. So the touching squares are going to be winners. And the reverse. So let's say the winning square is 7-3. 3-7 would also be a winner. And if you ever play the game Battleship, we got a side pot you can throw in for $15. If you're not in a row or column that gets hit, you're eligible for $600 as well. So that's a little fun side pot for those that get stuck with maybe a square that they're not happy with.
That's WeWinUwin.com, where you can go to check that out. And tell us about the podcast. Where can they find that?
Yeah, so over there on the YouTubes, the little @ symbol, Shut Up and Bets, or on Facebook, just search for We Win, You Win. Monday, Wednesdays, we do a live show around 4:20 Eastern. That's been on fire, too. I basically go through every single game after 5 p.m. Eastern and tell you my leans, plays, everything else. Been killing that. And we're going to do a special show this Friday. If you're a UFC guy, UFC's coming back Saturday. We've got 2 UFC experts coming on as well. It should probably be a long show. But check that out. We'll go through the whole bet card, fight card, and give you all of our picks and plays for this week's UFC.
You are the best. We appreciate it. Give us your outline.
I don't know what that is. Our outline? What's an outline?
You tag what you say at the end of the show.
Oh, you mean like get off the show and say, Bobby, jump on the right foot.
Do the wrong
thing.
The wrong thing. There we go.
By the way, Brody, I know we didn't have a lot of conversation. Congratulations on co-national championship. Both teams from Indiana are going to be claiming a national championship this year.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, you and UFC.
In 49 other states, it's just college football, but in Indiana, it's life and death.
Yeah. All right. Go Irish, I guess, whatever. Guys, until we meet again, jump on the right foot and do the wrong thing.
Yeah, I guess we'll talk. Thanks, buddy. Peace. There we go. He said peace. There we go. Okay. Coming best, we'll close things out with what's got us juiced. Morning Juice.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. You don't want to start the new year off hurting. You don't want to start off the new year getting surgery. You don't want to start off the new year dealing with trying to plan something out into the future. What you want to do is get healthy. So what you want to do is go to my friends over at QC Kinetics. Dr. Tesner and his team, the medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Columbus, they can deliver regenerative treatments that actually help your body repair the areas that are causing you pain. Those achy knees, hips, back, shoulders, whatever it is, they can help you get ready. So instead of those invasive operations, it's going to sideline you all of the early year. Go check out our friends at QC Kinetics and see if they can help you today. Imagine moving better, being stronger, planning your year, doing what actually you want to do. So don't wait. Call 380-228-4544. That's 380-228-4544. They have offices located in Dublin and Gahanna, and they are ready there for your free consultation. So go check them out today.
You know what hope is? Hope is action. Carving a path forward, even when it's hard.
And kids who still know how to dream. They're the best pathfinders of all.
So at Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide to grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and so all those good things can come true for them, safe.
And that means safe at home, safe at school, and safe online.
Hope means walking this path together, all of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund, because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 23 countries to help them achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
People don't realize that glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness.
Because there are often no early symptoms, nearly half of those with glaucoma may not even know they have it until vision loss has occurred.
I was diagnosed with normal tension glaucoma in July of 2020. And what we found out at that point was I had already lost 40% of my sight. And you think it only affects people that are, 75 or older, retired, grandparents, and that's not the reality of it.
I didn't think at all glaucoma was going to affect me because I didn't know of anyone that had glaucoma, no one in my family. When you have glaucoma, you can't get back that sight that you lost. And so early detection and treatment is vitally, vitally important.
Don't miss life's most beautiful moments. Schedule an eye exam today.
National Glaucoma Research, a Bright Focus Foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Learn how to protect your sight at stopglaucoma.org.
We built a brand new studio just for Bobby, and Tito has already ruined it just by being here.
I'm pregnant.
This is Morning Juice.
Morning Juice, final segment of the program. Thank you to Albert Breer and Ya Highness for joining us on a Brody Thursday. Maybe that should be our shirt that they haven't had made yet. The one we had before that they were going to make, they delayed that one with us and the Bronco or whatever.
Why'd it get delayed?
I don't know what the reason was.
This is the second best morning juice.
So
first one's gone.
I think
Get the date on there. August, what was it, like 15, 16?
17.
17, okay. 2022. May 9th.
The 11th is we start on a Monday, right?
There's 8th then.
Yeah, probably the 8th. I can't make that decision. Anyway, we need a Brody Thursday
on
shirt.
There with like a halo around his head.
Oh, yeah.
He's not dead. We're just divorced.
Shark, maybe just a shark headstone with a man on it.
When was Shark's last day with us? It was end of June, right?
That sounds about right.
Like
yeah.
Before 4th of July.
It was. I think
it was the week of.
The week of 4th of July.
Okay.
Because he cashed out a week or two earlier because of insurance situations and what he had to do. It was wild.
Right. What how happy he is.
Only in the United States can you want to work more, but yet it's not advantageous for you to work more. It's actually going to cost you more to work the extra week and a half than it would the other way.
I remember Shark telling me, he's like, I was either doing it on whatever that was, like July 2nd.
It's July 11th is his birthday. Yeah.
Or I had to do that same date, but into August.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not doing that. I was like, God love you, Shark.
All right, two people in the chair. Phil says he thinks it was July 1st was the last show for Shark.
Yes, because he had to retire before the month of July.
All right, let's tell people what's got us juiced.
What's got you juiced?
It's a Thursday, a Brody Thursday. So let's hear what Schleggs has to say first.
Somebody wants to put a meme out there of me and Paul Feinbaum in a cage match, like Hell in the Cell, please do so, because I will absolutely destroy that cat.
I hope so. He's like a frail old man.
Yeah. He's Paul Feinbaum. He's had some takes this college football season that have not aged very well for him.
He's not a big Indiana supporter.
Yeah, Signetti, I think
not
he
a good
kind of
coach.
said he was. I was going to say it was overrated or something like that. That was swing and a miss on that one. What does not, or maybe did not, because it didn't really hurt anymore, thankfully. But what did not have me juice yesterday, guys, was when I went to do some weighted pull-ups and accidentally dropped the 10-pound weight
on your toe,
straight on my left foot, just right in the dead middle.
Was it a plate or a dumbbell?
Plate.
Ooh.
Didn't feel great. Kind of looked around, made sure nobody watched, and saw what just happened. Thankfully, nobody did. Kind of sat down for a minute. I probably let out a
okay,
because it hurt, and I wouldn't say it was dropped from a significant distance, but enough to make it hurt. But it's all good there. So that's I guess that didn't have me juiced, but juiced that it doesn't still hurt. Juiced about the Celtics beating the worst team in the NBA last night, the Indiana Pacers. So that was a nice win there for the C's. Sam Hauser is shooting like 75% from three this month, and Jaylen Brown continues to play well, so that's fun. Don't know if I'm juiced or not juiced about this. I'm kind of with you, Tito. I don't mind a snowstorm. I don't need it, every weekend. And I'm kind of glad it's scheduled to hit on the weekend and not a weekday. Yeah. But
can't get a snow day.
We
get snow days?
I don't think so. That's the problem. Maybe I should have been a high school teacher. Dang it. As I always have the news on here in the mornings and just see the closing and delays just come across the bottom ticker there.
I was looking over there at it.
Get the reflection on it.
No, just the TV that's in there up top. Oh, wait, that's not a TV.
If you need
it's a blank wall. It's a blank wall.
But I can't really, if we get as much as they say we're going to, which sounds like it genuinely could be close to like a foot, I can't remember in my lifetime ever getting anywhere near that much in one setting.
Really?
Maybe I'm just misremembering that, but
it's been a minute.
Like even the one we got, what was that, probably middle of December on a weekend
that was
about a month or so ago.
Yeah.
Was a decent amount, but it was still nowhere near a foot.
Back in 2013, 13, 14, we got probably close to a foot at that point. I remember they shut down OSU, which if they shut down OSU, it's for significant amounts.
I was going to say, they never shut it down when I went to school there for 4 years. I could probably
like once every 20 years.
Yeah. So we'll see. Like I said, I don't know if it has me juiced or not juiced, but it'll be exciting if it happens.
Yeah.
Hey, if we're going to get 6 or 7 or 8.
Thank you very much. We almost fell for it.
Might as well just hit a foot.
Yeah.
Just keep snowing. Sure. Once you get
yeah.
past 3 or 4, just let it pile on. So all that has me juiced, Carp. Why is he juiced?
Oh, yeah. That's juiced up here. We got to listen to our guy Schlegel talking about Paul Feinbaum. I think that may have been, Tuesday. Should have been maybe his final show with us. I think he's going to be taking on some new employment here and won't be able to do the show. So that's got me juiced in a negative way, but happy for him, excited for him, and maybe we'll make that announcement tomorrow. Just want to clear it with him first as he is starting that today. It got me juiced. I mean, listen, we're Thursday night. Thursday's the first day of the weekend. Dive on in, got some hoops practice outside that. Maybe I'll start watching a little Landman tonight and round out the show, or round out the weekend, round out the week, rather, heading into the weekend with all that. And we didn't have any basketball games on Saturday, so there was a tournament in Lancaster that a bunch of the teams are playing in, and sure, why not? They're like, you guys want to sign up for that? I would have said vehemently no, but since it's in my hometown, I'm like, my parents can come over, I can probably go pop over and see them. Like, yeah, I'm game. If everybody else wants to do it, that sounds good to me. So we finally got our game times for that. That looks good. And it's Conference Championship weekend in the NFL. So excited to watch those games and see who ultimately will be in the Super Bowl. Got a lot to get done next week because after that, I've got my Super Bowl military trip and then Buckeye Cruise a couple weeks after that. So going to be a fast and furious here a couple of weeks coming up.
You mentioned your kids will snow shovel for money. Snow.
Shovel snow.
Either way.
Not snow shovel.
That's either way. Anyway, what I'd like you to ask them if they would do our driveway this weekend. It's a very small driveway. It's very short. It doesn't take long to do it. But I don't want to pay them. Just tell them I'll advertise for them on the air. Like, I'll talk about them.
No, I don't think they'll do that. They've gotten stiffed before, and they're not.
I wouldn't be stiffing, Bob. It'd be giving the value of my voice and my endorsement.
Yeah, I don't know if they need that, though.
Well, yeah, just
their work speaks for itself.
Just broach the subject with them. Let me get back to me on that one. I'm Juice. I already last night went to this. It was, I guess you would call it a one night like basketball clinic over at a facility in Hilliard there. And at first, I was wondering if he would really want to go because he was the youngest kid there. There were 10 boys doing this. He was a third grader. One kid was a fourth grader. The rest were fifth and sixth. And so I figured he would get bored, get frustrated with it because how challenging it was going to be. It's not like playing as normal against third graders. And so I told him it's from 6 to 7. Comes to 7 o'clock, and they're still going at it. And I'm like, all right, if you want to leave, if you want to go home and get, because you're tired, we can go because he was they're more physical than he's used to playing with. And then he said, no, I want to stay. And I said, all right. Then 7:30, I'm like, all right, you want to stay? You haven't had dinner yet? You want to? He said, no, I want to keep playing. And he stayed until 8 o'clock and would have kept playing if a bunch of the other kids didn't have to leave. But it was fun to watch compete and do that. I'm very proud of him, being out there. The first possession, they had the ball when they were doing the scrimmaging stuff. The tallest kid out there, the sixth grader who was probably my size, like 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
It comes out to guard Artie.
I don't know if you're 6 feet tall, Thitoff.
I'm 6 feet tall. Look, we've done the shoe thing already. You questioned my shoe size.
I understand that.
Okay. I'm 6 feet tall, Bob. Don't height shame me. Height shame. What are you doing?
There's no way.
I'm 6 feet tall.
I'll give you 5'11" tops.
My driver's license will prove I'm 6 feet tall.
That's fine. You can write anything on there.
Well, but I just did the truth. Anyway, and this kid comes out to guard him and snaps the ball at Artie's hands, and then Artie recovers it, goes around, the kid goes in for a layup, and that was fun to watch. I love seeing him compete. That got him juiced up a little bit too. But the fact he played for as long as he did against kids that were much older and more experienced than him was that got me juiced last night. So, folks, that's it for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll determine the height thing. I'll get an official read on that for you guys tomorrow. Also, tomorrow we will have AJ Hawk on. Stay safe.